You're watching Q News at 4, and earlier today, ladies and gentlemen, the Israeli occupation began its military operation in the Gaza Strip by targeting multi-story buildings in the area, starting with the well-known Mushtahi building in Gaza. The Israeli Defense Minister announced the opening of the gates of hell in the Strip. This came just hours after the Arab League adopted an Egyptian-Saudi resolution on the shared vision for security and cooperation in the region. I'm Henny Saif, and we will be closely monitoring and covering all of this on our special coverage, so stay tuned.
والله العظيم ولا حبة رز، والله العظيم ولا حبة عدس. ما فيش أكل، ما فيش شرب، عندي بنت 2.5 صارت تشرب.
Welcome back. Egypt has strongly condemned the statements attributed to the Israeli Prime Minister regarding the displacement of Palestinians from their land, including through the Rafah crossing. Egyptian Foreign Ministry said that Netanyahu is continuously seeking to prolong the escalation in the region and entrench instability in order to avoid facing the consequences of Israeli violations in Gaza, both domestically and internationally. Egypt reaffirmed its condemnation and rejection of the displacement of the Palestinian people under any pretext, whether forced or voluntary, through the ongoing targeting of civilians, civilian infrastructure, and various aspects of life to pressure Palestinians into leaving. Egypt reiterated that it will never be a partner in this injustice by enabling the liquidation of the Palestinian cause or becoming a gateway for displacement, stressing that this is a red line that will not be crossed. The Israeli occupation army has destroyed the Mushtahi Tower, which had previously sustained partial damage in an earlier airstrike, signaling the beginning of the first phase of a full occupation of the Gaza Strip. Military sources told Israeli media that the Air Force has begun a gradual operation to demolish multi-story buildings in Gaza City. "40 Palestinians were killed and dozens others wounded, including women and children, as a result of Israeli airstrikes targeting various areas across the Gaza Strip. In the West Bank, several Palestinians sustained injuries and fractures following an attack by settlers on Masaferiyata, south of Hebron. Meanwhile, Israeli forces arrested 24 Palestinians during a wide-scale raid and search campaign, mainly concentrated in the cities of Salfit, Hebron, and Ramallah. The Ministry of Health in Gaza announced on Friday the death of 3 more individuals in the past 24 hours due to famine. In a brief statement, the ministry indicated that the total number of famine-related deaths has risen to 376, including 134 children. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz announced an escalation of the military operation in the Gaza Strip, declaring now the gates of hell are opening, shortly before Israeli warplanes launched intense airstrikes targeting several residential towers in Gaza City. In posts on the platform X, Katz confirmed the issuance of what he described as the first evacuation notice for a multi-story building in Gaza City before targeting it. He added, once the door is opened, it will not be closed, and our operations will gradually intensify until Hamas accepts our conditions to end the war. Hamas has released a video showing two Israeli detainees held in the Gaza Strip since the October 7th, 2023 attack. One of the detainees, who appears at the end while meeting the other detainee, states that he is in Gaza City and that the video was filmed on August 28th. Speaking in Hebrew with Arabic subtitles, the detainee says, "I heard that the army is about to attack Gaza City. I'm terrified by this idea." For further analysis, we are joined from Cairo by the Research and International Affairs, Mr. Hani Gamal. Mr. Gamal, welcome to Q News. How do you view the Egyptian Foreign Ministry's statement in response to Netanyahu's remarks about the Rafah crossing?
Thanks for having me today, and thanks for being with you. I think that regarding the statement of Egypt, Egypt is trying to send a direct message that they will never accept Netanyahu's decision, because Netanyahu tries to set Egypt as the gateway for displacement. And actually, as we try to set this directly at the beginning, that we are declining every single decision, and we are declining every single statement from Netanyahu. We will never accept any displacement or the evacuation for Palestinian people. We are condemning what the occupation forces are doing against the Palestinian people, because they are trying just to commit military operations against Palestinian people, to evacuate them and to let them across Rafah crossing. This will not be accepted, and Egypt will not be that easy to accept. The statement of the foreign minister of Egypt, well, he is trying to say that we will not be part of the displacement process, and we are trying to discuss the negotiation and how to reach a ceasefire. This is the only thing that we cannot accept, and we are declining every single thing related to the military operations from the occupation forces, or any trial to displace the Palestinians from their lands. They think that they can disappear or make Palestine disappear, but we will never make this happen. They know very well that Egypt has its own soldiers, and if there is any kind of war, we will be part of this war, and we will never accept the displacement for the Palestinian people from their own lands, because this is their lands at the beginning. They have to accept this, and they have to accept that there is a trial to reach a ceasefire and to start the negotiations. Actually, regarding the suggestion of the foreign minister and that we might reach a ceasefire for 60 days, they did not have any reaction for this option. Until now, we are trying to reach a ceasefire. Now they are giving statements to displace the Palestinian people, and they think that we will accept this. We will never accept this. This is impossible for Egypt to accept.
Yes, well, let's take it step by step. Now, we are witnessing and watching the footage of the Mushtahi building being demolished. How do you see Israel's announcement to destroy all high-rise buildings in the Gaza Strip?
Approach is illogical, because Israeli occupation forces are trying just to use the military operations against the Gaza Strip to evacuate people. They are trying to follow up their agenda, which is occupying Gaza Strip fully and occupying the West Bank. But till now, we understand that they are trying to decline the humanitarian aid and make it impossible for the people even to deliver the humanitarian aid, and now they are just trying to practice pressure. This is a kind of a pressure or direct pressure to have a statement to destroy the high-rise building. This is not logical at all. What's the justification behind this? They do not have any logic behind this, but they are just trying to practice pressure over the Palestinian people to evacuate them and to displace them from their own lands so that they can fully occupy Gaza Strip and the West Bank. For that reason, we cannot accept such decisions at the end, and I guess Netanyahu at the end should accept the end of this war as soon as possible, because there is a pressure from the international community, there is pressure from the Arab countries, and we still need the pressure of US administration, and that's what we are admitting through the media. And till now, we are having states, European states, that are trying to admit Palestine as a state. Till now, we are waiting to set an end for this war. But what Netanyahu is trying to do here is just pressure over the Palestinian people. Until now, people are dying out of famine, out of starvation. They cannot find water. They cannot find anything to live. Until now, they are trying to survive there. Netanyahu should accept that there would be an end for this, but till doing this or till reaching a ceasefire, we will never reach it without the support of US administration, because there's a kind of financial support, military support from US to Netanyahu directly. Actually, the ones who are the victims are the Palestinian people. Until now, we cannot do any action for them. So now, till now, we are having statements from Netanyahu, and we cannot accept these decisions. But till now, we cannot take any action on reality, especially after canceling U.S. administration the visas of the Palestinian authorities. Actually, this is a high pressure from Trump and Netanyahu over the Palestinian people and even the Palestinian authorities to express their voice and to tell the people all around the world what are the sufferings that they are facing in Gaza Strip. They are trying to change the Middle East as a whole, and as Netanyahu said in his statement about the Greater Israeli project, that he wants to build a Greater Israeli project which will include parts of Lebanon, Iraq, Jordan, and other states. Till now, throughout these statements, we cannot accept these statements.
Well, the Israeli defense minister has announced that now the gates of hell have opened. What do you think will happen following Israel's announcement of launching a wide military operation in the Gaza Strip?
That the announcement that Israeli occupation forces will have wide range military operations, this affirms that the Israeli occupation forces will continue the war till the end. There will never be any end for this war. And what I expect for this is that the U.S. administration will decide to stand against Israeli, because there are so many losses throughout this war. We have to admit, even if the power is for the Israeli occupation forces, but still they are suffering from the losses, and there would be an end for this war. But they are trying again to practice pressure over the people living in Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, and Netanyahu is trying to make the best use of this pressure to evacuate the people, because he is having another agenda. He is using the justification of releasing the hostages, but this is not true. He is not trying to release the hostages. He is trying just to follow up his agenda and to build up his dream, which is the Greater Israel. Till now, after the statement of the wide range military operations, we cannot reach an end for this war. Until now, they are using weapons against the Palestinian people. But till now, all the states and all the Arab world is condemning the Israeli military operations, and we cannot see any action on the reality. As I told you before, that the only one who can stop this war is the U.S. administration. And actually, after canceling the visas of the Palestinian authorities, we cannot reach an end for this war. And we are waiting for the Security Council, UN Security Council, to decide what will happen for the Palestinian authorities. till now we can figure out that there would be a kind of escalation in Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, and without any trial to start up the negotiations between the parties, like the suggestion mentioned before, to have a ceasefire for 60 days, there would be an escalation, and we cannot end in this case the war or to try to reach a ceasefire. But now let's think about what is happening in Gaza Strip. That people and civilians are dying out of famine and out of starvation. Until now we cannot see any kind of hope or light for the future. Reconstruction in Gaza is impossible now. Now are having no homes, they are having no services, they are having no life. Even the basic needs they cannot get in Gaza Strip and in the West Bank. So how come we cannot put an end for this war or to reach a ceasefire and without having even life in Gaza Strip or the West Bank? There would be an initiative from France and Britain to admit Palestine as a state, and then Netanyahu is trying to practice pressure again on Palestinians. Now we need to think about the international community and to think about the Arab states and the European states to stand against Israel and to stop the relations with Israel. I guess if they practice economic pressure on Israel and to stop the trade or any kind of actions with Israeli, this will be the start and the core for ending this war. Why we are waiting for an end for this Israeli, and Netanyahu is not giving us any light or any signal that will show us that this war will end so soon. After the summit in Shanghai, this is a kind of confirmation that we are having another alliance. We might have other alliances: China, Russia, India, Pakistan, other countries. We need to tend to other alliances away from US. We need to have support and actual support and to have the actual pressure on Israeli to stop the military operations against the Palestinian people in Gaza Strip and in the West Bank. We need to consider all these options and we need to consider all the solutions to have our own agenda that will deal with Israel. I guess if there is an actual trial from China and Russia and all the other alliances as France and Britain, we can stop Israel from the military operations against the Palestinian people. This will be the actual effect that will conclude to the end of this war. We can put an end just through discussing all these options, and I guess Egypt is standing alone here. If Egypt, with other Arab countries and with the new alliance after the Shanghai summit, we can end this war without even tending to the US administration support. Yes. This is a kind of a mutual interest between all alliances.
From Cairo, that was Mr. Hani Al-Gamal, the researcher in international affairs. Mr. Gamal, thank you very much for joining us here on Q News. Ahmed Abul Ghait, the Secretary General of the Arab League, has announced that Arab states have approved a joint Egyptian-Saudi draft resolution during the Arab League Council meeting at the ministerial level, expressing the unified Arab position on the Palestinian cause. Abul Ghait emphasized that the resolution underscores the principle of Arab state sovereignty and rejects any insinuations that undermine it. It reaffirms that resolving the Palestinian issue through the two-state solution is the only way to end regional tensions and move towards a new horizon of stability and prosperity. The resolution also condemns any proposals that threaten the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Arab states. It stresses the need to end the occupation of Arab lands and asserts that no sustainable arrangements for cooperation, integration, or coexistence with Israel can be expected as long as it continues to occupy Arab territories or threatens to annex them. Egypt welcomed the adoption by the Arab League Council at the ministerial level during its 164th session of the decision titled Shared Vision for Security and Cooperation in the Region, issued through a joint Egyptian-Saudi initiative. Egypt emphasized that there is no room to allow any party to dominate the region or impose unilateral security arrangements that undermine the region's security and stability. Egypt affirmed that the adoption of the decision reflects a responsible Arab leadership role in formulating clear principles to enhance security and cooperation, sending the message that the stability of the region can only be achieved through respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Ministry of Health in Gaza announced that 69 people were killed and 422 others injured by Israeli fire in the past 24 hours. According to the ministry, the total number of casualties from the Israeli assault on the Gaza Strip has risen to 64,300 deaths and 162,005 injuries since October 7th of 2023. The Israeli occupation army stated that it will attack buildings that have been converted into military infrastructure in the coming days as a prelude to expanding the operation in Gaza City. The army added that it has observed intensified Hamas activity in Gaza City, especially in multi-story towers. It claimed that Hamas has integrated intelligence means, sniper and rocket launch sites, and established control centers within towers in Gaza. UNICEF has warned that childhood cannot survive in Gaza City as Israel prepares to take control of the city. UNICEF spokesperson Tess Ingram stressed that the world is sounding the alarm over what an intensified military assault on Gaza City could bring, a catastrophe for nearly 1 million people who remain there. For more analysis, we're joined from Cairo by Al Ahram managing editor, Mr. Mohammed Azzeddin. Mr. Azzeddin, welcome to Q News. How do you view the Arab League's adoption of the Egyptian-Saudi resolution for security and cooperation in the region?
شكرا لاستضافتي في
Inviting me in Q News. Definitely that this resolution expresses that Egypt and the Arab community stands as a whole. It is not just about the Arab League or Egypt or Saudi Arabia. It's all about the unity of the Arab world as a whole to stand against the military operations that Israeli occupation forces committed against Palestinian people. What we are witnessing from genocide and military operations and the actions and the statements of Netanyahu, this resolution expresses that all the Arab world is against what is happening in Palestine. What we are witnessing daily, that the people and the civilians are killed and they are targeting even the people who are working every single day to transfer the truth to the whole world. Now they are trying to stand as a whole to express a direct message for Netanyahu that the Arab world will never accept his statements, and we will stand against any kind of displacement or evacuation for the Palestinian people, because Palestine will live till the end. Any other kind of dream that Netanyahu is trying to achieve, like the Greater Israel project, will never come into life.
Well, what is your opinion now on Egypt's role in facilitating the entry of aid into the Gaza Strip, keeping in mind everybody is expecting the situation to and the military operations to escalate in the Gaza Strip?
Egypt is cautious to facilitate the deliver of the assessment or the assistance and the medical care for the Palestinian people. As we know that this is not strange about Egypt. We are not surprised. We are not waiting an admission from any other country to deliver the aids. Actually, we are standing at the first line. Egypt will be part of the escalation if there is any kind of direct threat to Egypt. We are standing with the Palestinian people. We are trying to reach a ceasefire, and this appeared when Egypt proposed a suggestion for a ceasefire and to start up a dialogue. To start up a dialogue with the parties. Hamas accepted this suggestion, but Netanyahu did not express any kind of reaction. Till now, we will try to facilitate the delivery of aids, the delivery of food, and the delivery of the medical care for the Palestinian people, because we are witnessing the genocide that people are witnessing every single day, and we are standing in Rafah crossing to try to deliver the aids, despite the difficulties and the obstacles that we are facing whenever it comes to entering the assistance.
Everybody is anticipating an escalation within the Gaza Strip, but do you think we will witness any escalation in the region as a whole as a response or a reaction to the Israeli strikes in the Gaza Strip?
Definitely, we witnessed that there were Israeli strikes for a high-rise building in Gaza, and I guess that the Israeli occupation forces are trying to destroy every single building in Gaza Strip because they think that they will kill all the Hamas members, and at this moment they will be safe. They are trying to occupy the whole land of Gaza Strip and the West Bank. For that reason, they are practicing pressure on all the people who are living there. They are trying to displace them. They are trying to evacuate them, and they took around 40% of the land of Gaza Strip. Till now, they are targeting the high-rise buildings as a step to evacuate people from Gaza Strip as a whole. 40% is not enough for them. They need the 100% from Gaza Strip. We are seeing or witnessing an agenda to kill the people who are living there in Gaza Strip and in the West Bank. So they are having trials to practice pressure and to convince the other states to host the Palestinian refugees. They are now using famine and starvation to evacuate people again. Egypt will never accept this. Egypt will never accept to host Palestinian refugees and will never accept that Palestinian people will leave their own land. Actually, we cannot do anything till now regarding the pressures they are doing from genocide, starvation, and famine. But we are trying to do what we are having between our hands to deliver and facilitate delivering the assistance.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Mohammed Izzeddin from Cairo, the Al Ahram managing editor. Mr. Izzeddin, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be following up and keeping a close eye on the latest developments that are taking place in the Gaza Strip. But that's all the time we have for this special coverage for now. I'm Henny Saif. Thank you for joining us.